Today, we're going to look at how we evaluate our online resources. Specifically, I'm going to be comparing the CRAP method with 5 key questions and core concepts, also known as Q-tips. So, why are we doing this? Well, in today's world, it's a shocking amount of 75% of young people get their news from the internet. We look at the internet all the time. We use the internet on a consistent basis. And whereas when I was young and had to do research in the library where every resource was credible, nowadays students have to be more aware. They have to understand what they're looking at. They have to use their resources to help them know whether something is credible or not. One thing that's being discussed nowadays is using a more lateral approach instead of checklists to check our resources. So instead of just going down a list, check, 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 we would actually consider how other people have used that same resource. Does it appear in other places? And so forth. Our objectives are to look at the two tools and discuss the similarities, then to look and think about the differences. Finally, to explain which tool I believe that the media specialist should use out of the two to teach pre-K through 12 students how to analyze and evaluate media messages. Now, the reason I chose the CRAP test was because as a middle school teacher and me in the library, I use this a lot to help the students along their way. It's relatively simple with 5 different things to look at, and each one of those 5 carefully explained. So from currency, the timeliness of the information, all the way through P for purpose, the reason the information exists. Each one of the items is explained, each one of them is broken down, allowing the student to go on the website and literally check off each piece, each of the criteria to check whether they believe that website is credible or not. I'm comparing it with Q-tips from the Center for Media Literacy. This is described as a deconstruction and construction framework. It covers authorship, format, audience, content, and purpose, with 3 different categories within the rubric: deconstruction and destruction on either side, and the 5 core concepts in the middle. So, similarities. Similarities, of course, big picture, are they both have a slight framework where you can go through and evaluate the website or source step by step. Specific similarities include authorship and authority. Who wrote it? Where did the information come from? The Q-tips talks about content, which fits nicely in with the CRAP test, accuracy and purpose. What's there and what's not? What's missing? Who is the content written for? What's the point? Q-tips also has a section on audience, which fits in well with the CRAP test relevance. Who is it written for and is it relevant? And finally, both look at purpose. For differences, we see that the CRAP test considers timeliness. Sometimes older information is still relevant. Now, to be fair to the CRAP test, it does ask that question. However, in the Q-tip, it doesn't show up. Format is included in Q-tips. How is the information presented? How is it sold to me? What do I see when I look at it? The audience section in Q-tips considers understanding and encourages the student to think about how others may view the information, not just themselves. The content in Q-tips also addresses different lifestyles and points of view, something that certainly does not happen in the CRAP test. Big picture differences. Q-tips helps with creation as well as evaluation. So when your students are creating a website, that also gives them something to look at to help them along the way. Q-tips also contains simpler language and is easier to follow. It goes straight to what matters. It is direct. So I looked at an article that was about bubbly water, sparkling water. Is it healthy or does it fall flat? From Banner Health. When looking at the 2 different formats, there were a lot of similarities. This happened to be a timely website, and I think you can normally tell that. So perhaps that's why the Q-tips doesn't include that. You could see that it's added some attractive things in the format, but there's no real bells and whistles when considering the Q-tips. When you think about the authorship, it is from a health website. It does cite a dietitian, and I could easily go off to another website and find more information using those lateral techniques I was talking about earlier. As far as purpose is concerned, it shows that it is for nutrition and wellness, and nothing is being sold on this website. So both the crack test and the Q-tips give pretty similar information. However, I would choose the Q-tips for three main reasons. It's more straightforward and to the point and focuses on what matters. It would be easy to explain and teach as well as understand, I believe, to all age groups. It also encourages more lateral consideration, especially when considering audience, content, and purpose. Here are my references. Thank you for evaluating our online tools with me.